Hi, I'm Jeff Cohn, and thank you very much for being with us today. And I'm glad to be here on the 4th edition of the Mayor's Corner. And I'm here with the mayor of the Village of University Park, Mayor Joseph Rudess. Mayor, thank you very much for being here again
Jeff,
today.
Good to see you,
man.
Good
to see you.
I see you've changed a little bit. You've got your beard going on.
My beard, and I had to catch up with you, you know?
Yeah.
I have to be as stylish as you are, so I grew the beard. I normally grow it for the winter. So
makes two of us, yeah.
Good.
Absolutely.
So it's good to be here with you. We got a lot to cover today. There's been a lot going on, and here we are, the 4th edition, closing out 2019.
Yeah, this is the last one for this season.
I know. So we're getting ready. Everybody's getting ready for the holiday. Mayor, it's been several months since the Aqua matter, and I know that you've experienced a lot of progress in that area. Would you mind just giving the viewers an update on where the matter stands?
Well, sure, Jeff. I'd like to give an update, and I want my residents to follow very closely. According to the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency, the United States Environmental Protection Agency, the Illinois Commerce Commission, and the other regulatory agencies, the process is working. We're getting there. We are at 80%. The U.S. EPA and the Illinois EPA wants us to be at 90% so we can be compatible with other communities and we can ensure the quality of water that our residents get will be safe. We're not there yet, but all the charts, all indications, according to the regulatory agencies, we're heading that way in a positive direction.
Good.
Prayerfully, first of the year, we can be off the advisory. As a resident, I understand the pains of them because myself, as the mayor, I am still on the do not consume advisory or the lead advisory, however you want to use the dialogue. And it affects me greatly. So I definitely understand the pain, the agony, and the frustration of our residents in the town. So just a couple of pointers here that I've had discussions with our residents about. First of all, I want the residents to know that the mayor and the Board of Trustees and our legal team are fighting diligently each and every day with updates and calls regarding the delivery of quality water to our residents. So don't think for 1 minute that we're not fighting, because you might not hear a lot of noise and a lot of ruckus. Don't think. Have faith and trust in me as your mayor and the Board of Trustees that we are working every single day to ensure that our residents get the quality of water that they deserve, And we're going to make sure that they get that from Aqua Water,
It's good to hear that. I mean, I know that people, like you said, they're not there watching the work, your work and the trustees' work, so they don't see it. So a lot of this is behind the scenes. And so I think it's important, that's why you start doing this show, so people can know what's going on. You can give them an update from your mouth to their ears.
So just to go a little further, Aqua has implemented what they would consider as a cold weather plan. The first time that I got notice of it, the first thing I did, I looked at it and I hung up the telephone and I contacted the Attorney General's office and the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency and the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. And they okayed that because the reason for the cold weather plan is the distribution of water is also a hazard. So imagine when the people on the trucks come up to your home and delivering cases of water through the snow and the ice, and they happen to have an accident, slip and fall on your property, or hurt themselves. It causes another sense of liability. I know it's a huge inconvenience for a lot of our residents because most of our residents do have cars, but those who don't are greatly affected. So the new protocol is that the residents will go to Aqua Center on Western Avenue here in University Park. They'll drive in, they'll load their car up with the necessary amount of water and move on. For those residents who do not have who do not have vehicles, there will be a number that they can contact Aqua, and Aqua will deliver it to them personally. So we're going to make sure that there is no gap in water service or delivery from Aqua Water. They are not off the hook by any means whatsoever, and we're definitely staying on top of everything that goes on. Another issue that deeply concerns me are the hours of the communication center. Most of our residents are hard-working people, and they don't work here in the community. They work outside the community, some as far as downtown Chicago. So when Aqua decided to open Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., doesn't work for me. because at 4 p.m. most people are still on the clock.
Right.
So how do they get water? So we're working with the board and our legal team to make sure that there's sometimes convenience for our residents. Our metro train, for instance, starts coming in at 5 o'clock. By then, Aqua is closed. What the saying here? We're not going to accept that.
Yeah, exactly.
And not being open on Saturdays for accessible. So we're working on some of those things, and don't think that when Aqua says it's that the mayor and the board of trustees lay down. Heck, you know.
Right. So you're fighting for the villages.
We're definitely asking them to implement and take into consideration our residents are employed and they work, because if they didn't work, we wouldn't have this conversation now, because you couldn't collect money from them. So in the meantime, we're going to ask Mr. Blanchett to take into consideration Saturday hours, extending the hours during the week to our residents who are gainfully employed, have the opportunity to come and get water. All right.
So I'm sure that it's a matter of negotiating, right? And
it is.
That's what you're doing on behalf of your stakeholders, is making sure that they get, and that's your job, right? It's to make sure they get what they deserve and then some. And that's what you're doing. So it's important that people know that, and I think that it's good to hear that. So things are improving. I hear 80%. You strike.
The goal is 90%.
90%. And so the independent environmental bodies have told you that we're making progress.
Each day we're getting one step closer. And if I can encourage our residents who are still on the do not consume advisory or lead advisory, such as myself, to continue to run multiple faucets throughout the household, which will also help the process expedite itself and move a little bit faster.
Excellent.
But there's another issue, Jeff, that I really need to touch on.
Okay.
Because it is the back billing and sewage charge that Aqua is putting upon the residents. Very displeasing to hear about my residents. Also, I'm a resident that's getting back billed as well, and I don't like it one bit whatsoever. And what my mind says, and what our legal team states also, is that when this issue first started and we had the declaration of emergency meeting, in my opinion, when Mr. Blanchett comes to the microphone and says that we are not going to charge you guys any water bills, to me that was a public contract. And I want to hold those people accountable to that public contract, because if there was a sewage bill that continued on when this emergency started, I could understand it. But to implement a sewage bill down the line, after we've gone 3 to 4 months in there, it seems like a plan to just collect money and even to back bill. So if the residents are displeased, I'm displeased. And let you know, I go to bed every night with a prayer and heavy on my head and on my heart, because I truly understand the value of clean, fresh, affordable drinking water for the residents of our community. So residents, hang in there. I really appreciate your resilience on how you just handle, grin and bear it, make these things work. And I'm quite sure I'm not the only family in University Park that had to make alternate plans for Thanksgiving. For instance, my wife had to go to my son's house in another community and wash out her greens and basically prepare our meal and bring it back home for our guests. So I know if we were inconvenienced, I know there are tons and tons of other people in our community who had to have alterations or secondary plans when they maybe wanted to host a beautiful event at their home. So it's a big inconvenience, but don't hesitate. We'll be over this soon.
Good. Well, keep fighting. Keep up the good fight.
No doubt about it.
For your stakeholders.
No doubt about it.
So things are making progress. They're improving.
They are.
What else can residents do to find out more? Is there anything else that they can do themselves to find out more at all?
I would think that they can constantly stay in contact with Aqua. We have a weekly update, and when I get the weekly update starting today, I'll distribute to the website so it can be accessible to everyone to see what's actually going on. And if they have questions of the mayor and the board of trustees, don't hesitate to call 708-534-4327 and schedule an appointment with me. I'll be glad to sit down with any resident who has concerns, not just about the water, but anything regarding the village and our direction. No problem whatsoever. I'm elected as a part-time mayor, but again, as I stated, there's nothing about part-time about me, because the people deserve full-time representation.
Good.
Okay.
So it sounds like you got an open door for anybody that has any issues whatsoever. You got an open door. Call you, set an appointment, and come in and talk to you.
Because regardless on all this stupid stuff about these people voted for me and these didn't, I represent each and every representative in this village of University Park, even unborn children. I'm going to make sure that there are things in place for them.
And the key thing is about this, you did not order this. This came upon you within the first 100 days of you being elected.
First 28 days.
Oh, sorry. First 28 days.
Yes,
so people have to remember that as well. So since our last show, would you provide an update on the village's board actions that are affecting the residents? Know that there's been some business that's been conducted that maybe you would like to update the residents on the board's actions.
Why, sure. First of all, I'd like to just commend each and every board member. They have taken the ball and running, and we have open lines of communication. It seems that whatever the things that were going on before, they're not going on anymore. Good. And everyone's on the same page. We're actually working good together. Lately, there have been unanimous decisions on the board votes. No arguments, no discretionary things. The open lines of communication are there because they understand that what we want to do and what we are elected to do is to be agents of delivery of services for our residents. Excellent. And when they see the agenda is about providing quality services for our residents, economic development, public safety, and things that they want to see in our community, then they're all for it. So I'm proud to say again, all the board members, we're working extremely good together, and I'm proud to say that I have a very good board of trustees, and I'm extremely proud of their diligence and their homework, and everybody's tasked, and we're headed in the same direction.
I love it. Good. So you've had some action. I know that cannabis was one of them that you guys are taking action on. Are there any others that you would like to just to update the residents on?
Well, when you talk about cannabis, let me just take a few minutes there just to explain on where the village's stances are, so the residents won't have confusion because they need to know the facts. The village has opted in to be a part of the cannabis program.
All right.
We've done everything that our legal things. We've gone through our planning commission. We've gone through our zoning. We've gone through our taxation rules and everything. And just to let the residents know that the opportunity to have cannabis in our industrial park is a good thing. Okay. It is not permissible to sell or distribute, to cultivate, to infuse, or to grow in any residential area in University Park. So what that means to our residents, that you will not have an infestation of cannabis all through our residential areas. In our industrial area, west of Cicero, you can look forward to maybe a dispensary or a cultivation center. And what these things do for municipalities is bring us an additional source of revenue. Okay. For instance, we've got streets in our town, Jeff, oh my goodness, Abbott Lane, Amherst Lane, Harvest Lane, and a variety of other streets that have gone without disrepair in some time. That will give us the ability to fund these street resurfacing projects without an additional cost to the residents by adding the burden of taxes on them. It's actually going to bring in revenue in. Sure. And the goal would be to eliminate some of the burden of taxes and maybe down the line give them a rebate check. That's one of our goals. That's what our new manager's goal is. Right. That's what the Board of Trustees' goals is. And we got all these great people and all these great minds working together. I don't see why we can't make it happen. So yes, the Village of University Park has opted in. Our zoning is done, our tax is done, and all our state requirements have been met.
Good. Is there anything else that you would like to update them on in terms of board actions at all?
I mean, there are some projects coming down the line. We've got a special meeting that's going to be held December the 3rd at 7 p.m. And I'll just say stay tuned for that. I look forward to 2020. I really anticipate us putting some shovels in the ground and stirring up the pot of economic growth and development. I look forward to it.
Great. So you've got a new village manager. It's been on for 2 months now, and I heard that things have been shook up a little bit with her presence and her experience. What type of update would you like to give to the residents in terms of the improvements that have taken place since her arrival?
Well, I'm proud to say, first of all, I'm proud to welcome Miss Ernestine Berry Beck Fulgham aboard. Okay. One day we'll get her on the show and introduce her to the residents. Okay. But Mrs. Beck Fulgham is a great asset to the Village of University Park. She has 50 years or more of experience in governmental and financing and TIFs and grant. She's a federal certified grant writer. She's a certified water person. She's worked in economic development. She's been an elected official. She has great relationships in Springfield and brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to this village that down the line the residents will really get to see some of the work that's being done. It's a great addition to the team.
Good.
Great addition to the team.
Good. And you welcome people to come out to the board meetings and watch her do her work also, right? Because that's where they can actually see the work is in board meetings, right?
Sit down and talk with the manager. Get to know people. Let's be a community of factual information.
Right.
And let's get what's right. Let's everybody invest in the better half of this community. That's what we're looking forward to.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's great, and I'm glad to hear. So I know that her economic development background will help with some of the initiatives that's on the horizon. Are there any in particular? You said there are several things for 2020, get the shovels in the dirt, but is there anything in terms of economic development proposals that you would like to share that's on the horizon? Anything that you can.
Well, I'll tell you this, Jeff.
All right.
I'll save the Christmas bag for the first of the year in 2020. Oh, how about that? And we can all disclose that. As a former trustee who sat on the board for 12 years, some of the biggest mistakes out of eagerness and excitement we put the cart before the horse. We just want to stay the course and make sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. And when those things are signed on, then it will be a Christmas present to our residents.
Okay.
So we want to do it in that perspective. You know, we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves.
Gotcha. All right. So you've been on for 6 months now.
Is it been 6 months already?
I know it probably seems like a year.
No, man. Listen, this thing I do, I love it.
I know you love it, but you had that water thing, and a lot of people don't have that now. I mean, it's one thing to be baptized by fire, but another thing to be baptized by what you had to be baptized by.
But you know what, though? That's okay, because I can assure when this water crisis is all over, as I've stated before, we'll have the cleanest lead-free water in the Southland region. So we're just gonna move past that. There's some things that happen for the good of all in the long run.
But what don't kill you, make you stronger.
Absolutely. But you know what? One thing I do want to mention, everybody hears about the third airport. And there's some great progress being made on the third airport as well as far as future economic projects. So it went from the potential airport of the South Suburban Airport to the probable South Suburban Airport. As our Congresswoman's Chief of Staff, Mr. Rick Bryant, who has been a strong advocate and a leader in this venture of this third airport, we're just about there. We're getting there,
And understand that Governor Pritzker also made budgeted some money towards some land clearing and some activity in terms of development for it. So it is good news. So there are steps being taken now to bring it to fruition. So that's good.
And you know what, Jeff? When that airport comes into fruition, this is what happens. Whether it's a cargo airport and the cargo comes in our airport and it goes north to Chicago, so what? But the good thing about it, the last community you leave going to the airport is University Park, and the first one coming north is University Park. So University Park is in a prime location.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
People have got to have places to store their goods once they get off the plane, and a place to put them in it before they get back on the plane as well for trucks. So it's really exciting.
It is.
So in the 6 months, how is your vision? How is the vision for the village progressing then, in terms of the things that you wanted to accomplish, putting the water crisis aside? How are some of the other visions come into play?
Hey man, I think they're coming into fruition. I look at our town center. Slowly but surely, there's going to be a major town center renovation where we can have an opportunity for residents to circulate those dollars within our own community before they have to go out and get something. So there's some great plans in the work. Not hearsay, solid things, but I'm just not at liberty to speak of right now.
Good.
But one thing I am at liberty to speak of before I forget this thing, that since Miss Ernestine Berry Beck Fogum has arrived on staff, that we have applied for 4 grants right now in this community. And most of those grants are, one of them is what they call, October 17th, we applied, I think it was a $50,000 grant. for for Regal Farm. There's been 4 grants that have been applied for, starting from $5,000 as the least to maybe $100,000 at the most. And Saturday, what is today? December the 2nd today, right?
Yep.
We become eligible for the park grant. Our park grant is up to $5 million. The Village of University Park is applying for the park grant. And my intention for the park grant is to build a multi-purpose facility for the Village of University Park. So yeah, we've got some things going, and I don't know what the past lies, but in the first 6 months, we've applied for 5, starting on this last grant, this park grant.
Right.
It will be our 5th grant applying for within the last 3 months.
Good. Well, you know what I always tell people, if you don't tell your story, somebody else will tell your story.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why you wanted to do your Mayor's Corner, so you can make sure that people know from your mouth to their ears the facts from your mouth. And so that's why I really appreciate doing this with you, so people can hear it from you.
And thanks, Jeff. And you know, as a mayor and as a person, just period, regardless of the title, I'm a person who really doesn't like to just pull my own chain and say, I did this, I did that. I'm more of a person to just say, I'd rather be known by my works. And I would like to leave a strong legacy in the Village of University Park. So 50 years down the line, when I'm in my hundreds, because I'm going to still be around, that someone say, wow, someone long time ago had the foresight and the vision to put these things in place. So when the next generation inherits the beautiful land of University Park, that their forefathers had thought way ahead of time to make sure that there are things in place for them to look forward to and have a nice, viable community.
Well, it takes unity to do that, and takes people working in concert to do that. And you mentioned earlier that, you know, that the board of trustees are working together. How is the board and the administration working together as well to bring this? Can you share a little bit more about that?
I can say now that I'm the kind of a person, that likes to unify and bring people together. And I can say collaboratively that the administration is working day in and day out, and they're actually getting a chance to work in their skilled profession that they were hired to do. You know, they come to work and they do their thing, and let Mrs. Ernestine run the day-to-day operations, and let me, the mayor, do what I need to do, and let our legislators legislate and move forward. So I think that now we are just one vision, one village, one big family, because the future is so much brighter than the past has ever been. Good. So again, I'm proud to have a fantastic administration, a fantastic board of trustees, and just good people working with all together.
Good, because it does take unity to accomplish
listen, as a former coach, there's no I in team.
There isn't. Good. And you can't win big games with people being divided also.
No. That's not my concept.
Good. So we've talked about a lot, and like we mentioned earlier, this is the holiday season. And so would you like to share with your viewing audience some of the holiday events and the plans that are in place for kids and families and the seniors to get into the holiday spirit? What's going on?
Well, Jeff, now that you mention it, December the 7th, 2019 at 5:30 p.m., the Village of University Park will host its annual tree lighting, which will be my first annual tree lighting as a mayor.
Okay.
And what we have planned for that day, we're going to have Mr. and Mrs. Claus visit us all the way from the North Pole on an expedited mission, because they want to ensure that the residents of University Park, young, old, and not even born yet, have a very, very good Christmas. So after the tree lighting, we're going to go to 90 Town Center. We're going to have a feast. We're going to have a variety of turkeys. We're going to have jerk turkeys and baked turkeys and fried turkeys. And we're going to have toys, toys for our children and our young people. They're going to be activities for our senior citizens. They're going to be activities for people of our age, you know what I mean? Middle-aged people, you know.
All right.
But it's going to be a great event.
Good.
We look forward to participation, and I would like to encourage our residents, if they have the ability, let's light up our house for Christmas. Let's show a little light and little spirit in our town. You know, we've got a lot to be proud of, and I'm grateful for the things that we do have. I'm not worried about what we don't have, but I'm also going to be looking forward to what we're going to have. So Proverbs 29:18, where there is no vision, the people shall perish, is what I live by, and I truly believe it. And I believe in the people of this community. I believe these are some of the fantastic, resilient people in the Village of University Park. They come from a variety of different places, but we offer so much. And I really believe, Jeff, that our town, the Village of University Park, will be an icon and people will say this is a destination, not just where people live, because we're going to be coming out here to see what's going on.
Right.
Either we're going to visit your university, we're going to get our education there, we're going to come out and visit some of your amenities at our golf course, we're going to play golf out there, we're going to come to some of your parks or some of your festivities. This is a fantastic town, originally planned for 125,000 residents. We fell a little short, but I'm going to work my best off to get it to at least 50,000.
There you go.
And keep it moving. You
Good.
know?
Well, you know what? If people can't get excited from listening to you and the vision that you all have in place here, they got to check the air of their pulse and make sure they got a heartbeat, because there's a certain level of energy and positivity that has to come into play to rally people to get them moving in the same direction. And I can feel that from what you said. And I congratulate you on the first 6 months. I know it has not been easy, but you've got a vision and you have made it through some of the tough times. And so that means that you're getting ready to go to a brighter future.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm honored. I'm so honored, Jeff, to be the mayor of this community.
Right.
I live and die the village of University Park. No, regardless on where I am, I'm always trying to find a way to bring something, to give to the people. I'm a servant of the people. I look forward to it.
Excellent.
I'm so proud to be the mayor. I'm so proud to have a board of trustees that's understanding, that communicates. If they've got questions, they call, and we just got one big family, and we're looking forward to delivering to our big family, which are the residents, and not just the residents, but the region as well.
Well, Mayor, thank you very much. It's been great. I know we could talk on for a long time, actually, because he's got a lot to say. And stakeholders, thank you very much for being with us for the 4 editions that we've done this. This wraps up the 2019 series. We'll be back to you in a new year with the mayor. And Mayor, if there's anything else that you'd like to say before we wrap up and close out the 4th edition and this year.
One last thing, I'd like to wish all of our residents and our region and our business partners a happy holiday season, that everyone in their family is safe and out of harm's way, and we just look forward to a joyous occasion. And please join us December the 7th, 2019, 5:30 p.m. at the annual Christmas tree lighting. It's going to be a fun time, and it only gets greater later. Thank you so much for your time.
And I'm Jeff Cohn of the Mayor's Corner. Thank you very much for being with us, and happy holidays to you.